Hey guys, I'm back, and today, yes, if you see this look, if you see this look more than once, it's because I'm taking advantage of having time to film today. My baby is in the bassinet right here. She's playing with her feet, so I'm like, I have a little bit extra time. Let me just film this story time for you guys. So today I'm going to be telling you guys about the time that I got scammed on Craigslist. It's crazy. So if you want to hear that, then just keep watching. So basically this happened like 3 years ago, and I was a stay-at-home mom for like 2 years, and I wanted to get back out there, start back working again. So I was looking for jobs. I was applying everywhere, and it just was like a dead end. Nobody was calling. And the people that did call, nothing went through with it, like the interviews and stuff like that. Nothing happened. So I'm looking on Craigslist because, you know, everything's on Craigslist. So I was looking for jobs, and I came across one, and I actually got an interview with them, and it was a legit doctor's office. They were looking for like a lab tech or something, and I went for the interview. Everything was great, but I didn't end up hearing anything from them. So I started looking on Craigslist again, and since that job was like legit, I was like, okay, so let me just keep looking, you know, no sense of being like scared or whatever, because that one was legit. So I kept looking on Craigslist, and nothing really was popping out. And then I finally, like some weeks later, I finally found this other job, and it was like a medical assistant, or an assistant for a medical office, I thought. So I contacted them, and I want to say they emailed me back, and they told me what I needed to send them, my resume and like my phone number, blah blah blah. So me and this person, it was a guy, and he actually wrote me back and said he's no longer at that medical office. He has his own business now or something like that. He needed a personal assistant because he was always, so he said since he's always traveling, he needed a personal assistant or whatever. So he told me everything that I would have to be doing, and it was really simple, really like easy thing. And it was like a part-time job, but it was like something that I could do even with having a small baby at the time. I think my daughter was like 2, and my husband was working at another job. So I was like, that's perfect. You know, I asked him what he thought about it, and it seemed legit. I was going to be a personal assistant for this guy. Basically, what he was supposed to do was send me a check, and I go run his errands for him. So I wasn't getting the money, but like $400, I think. And I was supposed to handle his business for him, and then I would take a cut from the check that he sent for me to handle his business. So one day I finally checked my mail. We went through with it. I talked to the guy on the phone a couple times. I can't remember what we were talking about, what we were discussing, but he was like another ethnicity. He was like from a different country. Sign number 1. I should have known. But yeah, we were like talking back and forth. I don't know what we were talking about, but finally one day, like, I gave him all my information, like my address, my phone number. He had my email address. So it was crazy. I checked my mail one day. He told me he was going to send me the check. I didn't give out any personal information, bank account information, social security number, nothing like that. But so one day I checked the mail, and I had a letter in there from him, and it was a check, and it told me everything that I needed to do. I can't really remember. I think all I had to do for this particular job was go cash the check, go to Walmart, get a money order, and go to like Office Depot. I had to get like office supply things for him and send them to wherever they needed to go. So, okay, that's easy. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. I went to the bank to cash the check. The check was like for $2,900, $2,700, or maybe even $3,200. I can't remember. It was like a decent sized check. So I go to the bank. I think it was on a Saturday or Friday, I think it was a Friday or a Saturday. Something like that. So I go to the bank, and I'm getting ready to cash this check. I'm like, hey, you know, I'm here to cash a check, blah, blah, blah. She's like, do you have an account with us? And I'm like, yes. And so I'm standing there. It wasn't crowded in the bank at the time. I'm just standing there, and she's like entering in information. And it's taken her a minute to enter it in, first of all. And she's like, do you have your ID? You know, the basic stuff they ask you when you go to the bank. And so I'm just standing there, like, on my phone, you know, looking around. And she's like, okay, I'll be right back. And so she went to the back in the office, I guess, where they do their business or whatever. And so she was back there for a good, like, 30 minutes at least. So I'm still standing there on my phone just like, dang, like, what's taking so long? I'm thinking, you know, because it was such a large amount, she had to go to the back. So I'm not paying attention. So I'm just standing there, you know, people are coming in and out, getting taken care of or whatever. So finally she comes back out and she's like asking me questions. So where did you get this check or whatever? And I was like, oh, it was sent to me. I'm supposed to be cashing it, and I'm a personal assistant. I'm supposed to be a personal assistant. I got this job off Craigslist. I could have sworn I heard something. I don't know. So I was like, yeah, I got this job on Craigslist. And she's like, well, there's some red flags on this check. She's like, you can cash it. She's like, you can cash it, but if something was to go wrong with the check, or if, you know, like it bounces, I guess, then you're responsible for, you know, all the money and the fees and all that stuff. And I was like, she was like, so I wouldn't suggest that you cash it, but she's like, it's up to you. And I was like, no, I definitely don't want anything, you know, messing up my account or anybody getting my information. And so I was like, you can keep the check. She was like, I said, well, no, I don't. No, I told her, I said, I don't want to cash it. And she was like, well, do you mind if I keep it? She was like, there's a lot of red flags popping up on this check. And she asked me again where I got it from, and I told her, and I told her she can keep like the letter that he sent me or whatever. It had his phone number on there and everything. So basically it was like a fraudulent check, and I don't know what his intentions were. Like, I wasn't embarrassed or anything. Like, if anything, I was just thankful that I did not cash that check, because he could have maybe got my information, or the check would have bounced, and then I would have owed all this amount of money, and then like fees, and then it just would have been like a bad situation. So I'm thankful that that happened. That way, you know, I learned never to do that again. And after that, I was like so scared that he was like watching me, or if I was gonna go outside, he was gonna be watching me. I was so paranoid, you guys. Like, I was tripping. And so I deleted that email account, and that was like my main email address. Her feet. That was like my main email address. I deleted it. I changed my number. I was like so scared for like a long time. But he never contacted me again, not that I know of. And yeah, so definitely be careful. If you're trying to find a job, go through like known businesses, and don't use Craigslist if you're iffy. And if you talk to the person and they sound iffy, just do your research and just be careful, because you know, you never know what people's intentions are. Even though, you know, I was just really looking for a job and doing it for good reasons, everybody's intentions aren't as good as yours. Like I said, I don't really know what he thought he was doing. Like, I don't know if he was just trying to embarrass. I don't know what his idea was. But just be careful and make sure that you're not giving any of your personal information out. You know, your social security, your bank account information. Just be careful. If you guys are young and just want a job, just really be careful and talk to your parents, or just do your research. Yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to thumbs it up. Subscribe to my channel if you have not, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.